cashback. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
pretty
I mean,
cool. Yeah.
it depends on how you negotiate. Like you can
Okay.
get a cashback, and even if the crazy thing that I heard that there's a mediation that they can if you want them to pay you, they can pay you like weekly or daily. It's depending on how you negotiate, and also depending on how they work.
This is no bullshit gaming podcast, 2.5 Gamers. Sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. We are definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but having so much fun. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously.
Okay, let's start, I guess. Welcome everyone. So this is a special episode which we called West to East session. So let's start with the introductions. So can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, of course. My name is Guo. I know Jakub and Matej from the last Gamescom, and it's been 4 years for me working in gaming industry, working on business development. I'm currently working at Transperfect Gaming, doing business development, helping studio to launch their game, go global, go international. I'm originally from China, and actually today I'm filming with you guys here.
Yes.
But I'm in China, my hometown.
Nice.
Called it's a city. We have 15 million people in a city.
That's like 3 times our country.
Yes, free Slovakia. Okay, nice.
Yeah, and it's really close to Beijing, so it's like half hour on train to Beijing, and yeah, that's in the north of China. So I'm very excited about this episode, and also talking about China market with you guys. Yeah.
Yes, we are very excited as well.
Thanks for making the time.
Yes.
No worry.
Okay, let's start with something easy. Like, what's the current situation regarding the release of the mobile games in China?
Yeah, of course.
Throw that a little bit.
Yeah, so the current situation, because I think it's this year, after like everything go back to normal after COVID situation. So it seems like very positive so far. Like when I talking with all the contacts, all my friends in the industry, and they are really say that it seems like Chinese government approving more games, but also because before the pandemic there's a lot of game like submitting to launch in China, but then they kind of stopped it with the approvals. So the famous one, I won't repeat so much here, but the ISBN in China is the Banhao. We call it Banhao. So it's a license that allows you launch in China market. And I have some data to share here that in the first Q1, the number of games approval that it's 288 games in Q1, only Q1 of this year, which 27 were imported title, like the foreign titles imported.
The west to east one.
Yeah, the west to east one, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And this number seems really positive because last year it was the total number of the whole year was 44. So you
For
can
the whole
see,
year.
yeah, for the whole year for foreign titles.
Okay.
So it's really positive, I would say. Um, and also they forecast of this year to have more new games titles approved this year. Annually will over 1,000. So let's say the level of games are launching in China will return to pre 2021 levels. So
But those
that's
1,000s, those are like domestic plus the
exactly
imported ones. Yeah, not all
exactly.
like east to west.
No, not all of
Come
it.
on, come on.
I hope one day can be all of it. Yeah. Um. Um.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's the current situation. Also, I want to talk about that. Like many of you already know that there's regulations in China. So the regulations still very strict with content. The content you are provide, well, like the content
Mhm.
you are including to the games. There's still a lot of approvals to
Mm.
release any. Uh, Not even to launch, but also after launch, the live ops operations that uh, so you have to submit, and then they will approve it to launch the content.
so
Um,
so even if I have a live game and let's say
mhm.
I'm doing updates or events like every 2 months or something, I still need to have the approval for that update to be updated. Otherwise, I cannot update my game. Do I get that right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Mm,
current situation now. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and also you know that the playtime registration that the minors under 18 years old, that they are like it's mandatory for them to play less time, and also play only sometimes in the week, and I can't remember, maybe 4 or 6 hours in the weekend only.
Okay.
So
And it's
yeah,
still like from what was it, like from 7 till 8 or like 6 till 7, like just 1 hour per day or some kind of thing
yeah,
there? It's
yeah,
still
yeah, it's still.
is it by the like is it working or is it just kind of like I read few articles there like people are buying fake IDs to kind of get
Oh,
through this or like
grandpas and grandmas IDs.
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
exactly. So how do you think the situation actually works? Like is it enforced very much or is it just like yeah, it's regulation but let's say 50% of minors get through it somehow?
I will say it's depending on the parents, like they are,
Mm.
if they are really, because I think it's a really a real thing for for the whole situation in China, is like parenting your child is not only the work of the school,
Mm.
Hmm.
it's like the work between school and your parents. So they are like really cooperating, like do everything possible to prevent this situation. So you can get it, but then when they find out it, you will have
Big
uh
trouble. Yep.
yeah, yeah, you are in trouble then. Exactly.
Okay, so this still stays, but it didn't have that big of an impact on Chinese gaming, did it? Because like my guess is mobile gaming is mainly then again as we talked before, even in the West, it's by adults, not really by children that much, is it?
I think in mobile games that like usually when you get 10 years old, you already have your own phone, so that's
Hmm.
also uh
Like the cutoff age of the mobile
exactly,
phones. Okay.
exactly. But more than that, but here I think the registration is more to the computer games, and so the
Hmm.
mobile games maybe have less um like work to do here, but yeah, normally it's for
Okay.
both games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess let's continue. What's there any other regulations on the block to know about?
Yeah, of course there's other things like to for the monetization also. It's really it's like once you have the
ISBN?
ASDN, and then you need to every time you want to do a live campaign, or you want to change any mechanism, then like inside of the game, and then you need to pre submit, do a
Like submit again the build and ask for another approval to keep the ISBN.
exactly everything every time, and to include the oats in the loot box. That's
Yeah, I think
also
they were. China was first with this actually, like even before
exactly
the West. Where
is
right there,
very
right there.
popular in China. Yeah. But every time you want to add anything, you need to do the submission.
Submit again.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's another one. And also, I think registration are these ones. Um, Maybe we can talk about a little bit of like different players that has different channels, different community, the social medias in China, the current situation. Because China, I think the trend now is really like live streaming. Like everyone I know here, especially when I come back, from, it's been like 4 years for me that I didn't come back to home. Like everyone, even if my parents, they are watching live streaming every time, like when they have in their um, free time. So that's another trend really strong. uh not only not only playing games, but also like do other things like buy shopping and everything. But also the I have some nephews. Well, my nephew, like in this case, he is watching uh, a channel. It's like Bilibili, but I believe it's like Twitch, Twitch or YouTube, but Chinese version. So he's like watching it every hour, like in during the dinner. We were
We should start publishing our podcast on Bilibili.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of influencers, like they are yeah, it's
Nice.
really trendy in China now.
Mm.
Mm.
And does it also capture like the general population, not only the gaming one? Because I think like here in the West, it's more of a like gaming kind of. Twitch is started pretty much as gaming platform. I know there's like a lot of non-gaming stuff there already, but it's pretty much gaming first, or was it before? So, is it currently also the general population in China that like this whole, as you said, shopping? So you watch like live streaming shopping, or
Yeah,
really?
exactly. Yeah, and on TikTok, there's another one really similar to TikTok called Kuaishou. My parents like shopping in it and watching live streamings and everything. So I think different profiles, they might have different platforms to watch live streamings, but live streaming is kind of a game changer, here in the lifestyles in China.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very
Nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it's quite big YouTube, like unboxing and all of like fashion. It's like that's come
Yeah,
on. You can't
Exactly.
even understand. You can't even understand.
of
Exactly.
course, of course.
Let's back to
Okay.
mobile. Let's back to mobile. Like, what
Yeah.
are the biggest stores on mobile in terms of Huawei? I guess. What else is there? I mean, obviously, like on Android, there's like millions of them, but
Yeah.
any big like the major ones? What are those?
Uh, the mobile, every mobile brand in China, they have their own store
Mm,
in this case. And then, like, for example, Huawei is one of the most popular here in China.
okay.
And, like when you have a Huawei phone, it's like, it's similar like you have an iPhone.
Mm,
So, and then they always say that Huawei phone has a better camera. And yeah, and then also I think other brand like Xiaomi is well known worldwide. Also Oppo, and there's another brand called Meizu, and it's also
mm,
like popular in China. But what I want to say that if you are living in China, you have to like download a lot of apps, because for every mobile brand, they have their own app, and then you also download the one owned by Tencent, because Tencent has one called My App. There's a lot of
mm-hmm,
things that you can only have those apps on Tencent, and then
mm-hmm.
other ones have other apps. there's a few. If you own an Android store, you will have a lot of yeah.
This already
Where do
feels
you-
like this already feels like Path of Exile, the skill tree. It's like super complex.
But
Yeah.
where do you like? I still don't get it. So where do you download the store app? Like from which store if you don't have it?
Mhm.
That's
That's
the
a good
question.
question because they always send you a link, and then the link you can download an APK, and then from that
Ah.
APK you download you enter the app, and then in the app you can
So
see
it's
a lot of ads. There's a lot of flash screens and open screens and interstitials. Yeah.
okay. So it's normal in China to kind of sideload the APKs through different sources in order to
Yeah, I
get
would
the
say
store
that they
first.
have. Yeah, I would say like if in the in the West country that if someone send me a link, I will be like a little bit afraid to
Yeah.
click on it, right? But here is like my parents are really confident, like click on it and then download it, and then it's just like I don't know, one click, and then you have they have trust on the link thing, yeah, on the share
Okay.
link, yeah.
That's very different compared to West.
Yeah, of
Definitely.
course.
It is. It is.
What are the percentages we're talking about? Because I always wanted to know these numbers. So Tencent's the biggest, yeah?
Yeah, well, Tencent I would say is the biggest one, because they have like a lot of apps, and WeChat is one of the most used app in China. It's a super app, like we call it a
Yeah.
super app. And then if you have WeChat, basically you have everything. You have everything, and then uh, the next one I would say Huawei, because they have market share. It's really uh the highest market share in China in Android brand
Phone.
mobile. Yeah. So I can share some numbers here. Like Tencent has like more than 20% for sure in the downloads
Android.
users. Yeah,
Yeah.
Android users in China. And iOS App Store is always around 15 to 25%. Um, this year I found some data that Apple with the new phone launch, they owns 20% of the Chinese
Okay.
market, Chinese mobile market. Yeah, Huawei owns another 20%, and then Oppo, other brand Vivo owns another 20. Xiaomi owns another 10, and there's one very famous. It's basically I think it's owned by Baidu. It's called 360 mobile.
Okay.
Yeah, like my parents, and it's like sometimes if you buy some brand like Xiaomi, you will have this downloaded by default.
Pre-installed, yeah.
Yeah, one like pre-install, exactly.
But if I get the numbers right here, it means there's just these whatever 6 or how much we named. This like kind of corners like 90% of the market. Is it like all the other 100 stores are just like miniature, literally like nothing
No,
to
I
it?
think yeah, exactly. Exactly like you said, they owns like more than 90%. Like everyone has the same phone and same brand. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
only
the
this.
main way how to spread market share is through launching your kind of hardware of the phone, and then it has pre-installed the store. So yeah, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
But yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
have the numbers. So there's the iOS, the Android kind of market share.
yeah, we have the regulations,
We
so we
have the
know what to
regulations,
what
yes.
to avoid.
And so, like, how do we kind of know and figure out like if it's worth to publish a game in China for our game, basically? So we have, let's say, we have a casual game that's doing super well, and we want to publish in China. Like, how do we kind of like calculate the
If it's
risks and
worth
like
it.
if it's worth it? Yeah.
If it's worth it, yeah. Firstly, I would say that normal the thing is like the genres are there's really um some reports that I've been reading, and then this year's also shows us some data that the RPGs are really popular in China. and also hyper casuals, and also, of course, have casual games. So those genres and really popular. I would say if you want to launch in China, try first with the very popular games in China, because it's like the community of China is very well. So we are like community, right? So it's like if your friends playing one game, and then probably you will start to play or try that game when you talk about it. So that's really normal in China. Uh, and
So like
in
social mechanics are kind of very strong in a way
Yeah.
if the gameplay kind
Apparently,
of
yeah.
supports them. So
Yeah,
MOBAs. That's our
yeah,
favorite genre that
MOBAs.
doesn't work in the West.
Exactly. That's just, and also, do you remember the game that we talk in PGC Helsinki?
Sheep,
The
or what was
sheep.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
exactly.
covered it. Cheaper sheep game.
That one like a virus, like because they have application, or they have the app in the app store, but nobody was playing the app, but they were playing like in WeChat. In WeChat, it's a mini program, like a H5 game, right? So then
Yeah,
you
okay.
don't need to download it, but you can
You
share
can
with
pull.
you have, it's like a normal
Chat
page, and
message. Yeah.
exactly. And then when you I mean probably the same mechanism for monetization too, because they
Yeah.
show ads, and then when you want another chance to try, you need to refer to your friend or watch a video.
Mm.
So
So you would say that if I don't have a game that's like kind of covering these popular genres, is it not really worth it to even start the thing here?
mm,
Like if I have, let's say, casual simulation or something that we didn't cover.
mm, I would say if you have so here is another thing, like if you have um like a user base that you can maybe analyze, that
Mm-hmm.
if the visuals and other the graphics and characters, or maybe the storyline is fits or adopted more in Chinese culture or in Asian culture, maybe you can have a try. But normally I would say that if you have other genres, uh, do more research, before you launch it, and then see that if you can do well that culturalization, because everything launched in China need to do adaptation. And like normally for simulation, that it's I don't want to name a specific thing, right? But
Yeah.
normally like simulation, if it's not so adapted to the Chinese culture, probably they won't play that much.
It won't be attractive to play. Yeah.
Exactly. No, won't
Mm.
be that attractive to the Chinese market.
Mm.
Mm,
Well, it's
So
not
in
exciting as RPG or MOBA. The
exactly.
simulations, it's like it's quite slow. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
no loot boxes for you.
Oh.
yeah.
Well, why not?
And here's we are coming to another thing, because like launching to Chinese culture or adaptation to China market needs a lot of dedication, resources, and that's also a lot of cost on changing all the assets, porting everything. It's really costly too. So I would say that if you have like before launch to China, was to do a deep research on what resources you can count on, and also see that if you can have a local partner who can help
Mm-hmm.
you to deal with the cultural adaptation and localization. And that's uh, also another important point, important key to
Yep.
win
Yeah,
Just
the market.
just to
everybody talks.
understand
Yeah.
just to understand quickly, because maybe like this is kind of overheard, because I think most
Mm,
people just think that localization, which means that let's change the language from English to Chinese, and that's it, we're done. But there's the other part which is called the culture adaptation. And culture adaptation, if I understand, is not only like changing the assets to be like whatever anime style or some kind of Chinese more attractive version, but also changing the game mechanics or like changing the game itself? Does this also mean that?
I would say that normally it can change all of the game and also even the
It's a
UX.
completely different game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, if we are talking about like so why normally that people always say that if you want to launch to Chinese market, you need to have a partner that help you to, you know, maybe that's just also some part you need to recode it. So
Mm,
I would say that is kind of not only translation and also just change the visual thing, because there's something that you obviously need to adapt to Chinese customer, like Chinese players. They have their own habits and they have behaviors, different behaviors. If you want to be a successful game in China,
mm.
that's a important thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so do I get it right that then this kind of local partner, they not only kind of help me do this, but they pretty much kind of also design the game, as you say, a little bit. Like, so let's say because whatever daily rewards work like much more heavy in
Mm.
China, or like battle pass works different or something. So they actually kind of suggest and change the code and like the functionality a little bit.
exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, in that case, like how is it possible to actually find a good partner? Because it's like, everybody's like, oh, you need to have a local partner, but like how
Yeah.
to go about it?
Mm.
Who
I
is the best one to work with?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of partner in the market now, because but also I would say that there's biggest ones and there's some specific one for
Mm.
indie games. I can name some
Yes, please.
publishers
Yeah,
here.
you can.
I think Bilibili, they are doing well, and when I was working in in my previous company in Huawei App Gallery, I talk with some of them, and they are kind of the hunter, like you
Mm.
are say that if you have a good game, they are kind of like reach out to you and then say that if you are interested into launch in China, and they can help you to with this and
Yeah,
that
so
with
they will find you, not you them.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Something like
normally
that.
for the biggest ones, they are working like this because it's a lot of time invested to get the banhao, because is the ISDN
The
is
ISBN. Yeah.
really limited. Then they are kind of doing like this way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, the biggest ones.
Okay. And then some smaller ones, if you could name, or like anything on top of your head that you think could be good.
Yeah, there's some small ones that they are launching H5 games, and they're also mobile. One I worked with them called Hollywood. Um, so they are helping to launch. They are based in the north, in the south of China, and they help to launch different. Um, but normally the format is H5. They are interesting to
Mm.
launch because it's easier to manage the assets and then easier to launch in the market.
Mm.
Um, and if you are launching a H5 game, is most likely you don't or will not be requested, is not mandatory to have the ISDN
Ah, okay. So there's a
currently.
loophole because you can use. Okay, I understand. So HTML5 games says it's easier then.
Exactly, exactly. That's another thing now happening in China. But if you want to launch the application, then work
You
with
need
a big one.
ISBN.
Yeah,
Mm.
Mm.
work with a big one. Even though they are expensive, and then they will take basically most of the things from
What's
you.
what are the shares, by the way? Like a good deal. Like what would you say would be considered a good deal? Like I mean, the percentage that goes to you and the helping partner publisher.
This is like a very very um I don't know, like everyone that I talk with about this revenue share, they have different number for me. So it can be from like uh, 20 to 80.
80 for the publisher.
Like yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
everything after the UA cost. Yeah, it can be like this.
Okay. And it's still okay.
Still makes sense.
Yeah,
Still
but
makes sense.
normally I would say if you can get a deal, very good deal, like for well, 50 can be a really good deal if they are offering like 50 revenue share after UA, and then I think it's a good deal. Yeah, they are really interested in your game, and then well, they will help to launch it very well in China. Yeah.
Yeah, people are pissed here about 30.
Yes. It's like, oh, 30. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Uh, well,
Okay.
anything else besides like starting to work with publishers? Like any other kind of agreement that could work when exploring China?
Um, I think well in the normally for there's different types, like of the agreement or count or different
The partnership.
deals.
Yeah.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
partnerships in China market, and there is really depends. Well, publishers are really common, right, in the market,
Yeah.
and then there's another style like the joint venture thing that they just like give the like this is good, but you have because you have more control, no, that
Yeah.
to the game, um and you have higher possibilities that to have like enough support to
Mm.
launch games. This can be a good thing, and I know that NetEase, Tencent, they are trying to do it a lot, because I remember the last GDC I probably met I can't remember, like more than 10 VCs in the party that we host in at GDC. So they have a lot of people digging like in that. Uh-huh.
Mm. And but
And
isn't this like joint venture option reserved for more like big games? Like you need to, mean something in order to even get here, isn't it like that?
I think they just negotiate the milestones, and
Hmm.
then yeah, basically it's just the shares. I talked with some studios that they had um some investment from Tencent, and they were just saying that they are just uh like supporting, not so
Mm.
many management, because this is kind of that they have only a VC team, but
Hmm.
after you get the money, they are kind of like give you a lot of freedom on what you do, but you need to of course complete the milestones that negotiated.
Okay, so it's pretty much like Chinese companies funding the Western games coming to China. Okay.
Exactly. And you know what? At Gamescom, I heard two Chinese just in front of me. I don't know like which company they were working for, but they were talking like I don't know, like a lot of game companies just giving money there in the market, and then like Chinese investment gaming investment company, they were just giving money to make someone in the gaming industry can be retired earlier. Yeah, it's
Okay,
so
so
funny.
retirement money. Okay.
Yeah,
Retirement
retirement
money,
money. Yeah,
exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, all right. Well, but this
Okay.
feels like the joint venture or any other type of deal, except publishing, feels like really heavy in terms of the bureaucracy and paperwork. At least for us on the West, in the West, right?
Mm.
I mean, well, I don't need to care. I don't need to care about that too much.
I guess they will do the
Exactly.
bureaucracy
Yeah,
and paperwork.
exactly.
You just need to deliver the game and milestones. It's I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
probably.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And there's another thing really trending in China is licensing. licensing is like the partnership with different IPs, and they, I mean, China is also very, I don't know, like the games of Chinese studios, they rely on big IPs. Like you can see games from big studios like FunPlus. They are doing a lot of, different. They are working with different IPs for SOS, and like they just it kind of that they are including it to do live ops and make the game to be, like more um, have more revenue and increase. They are really relying on this.
Yeah, this is the same deal as like Blizzard did with Diablo Immortal, didn't they? That it was completely built by NetEase. If I get it right, they just had the IP or some kind of small say in it, and that's it. And then it kind of, as we saw, it like didn't really do well in the West, but in China it did like 100 million or something.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
because it's an RPG, that's what we
Of course,
talk
it's an
about. It
RPG.
works.
Yeah, and
Oh,
if you have an RPG, they will fund you.
nice.
That's
Well,
good.
okay. I'm interested in like talking about UA actually.
Mhm.
If we can jump into UA in China, because
Of course.
nobody knows about anything, honestly, here in West. Like, how does it work? I know when I talk to someone, there are some, let's say, kickbacks in terms of the spend from like agencies. But let's not jump the gun. Like, how does it work in like in general in China in terms of the UA?
So how Matej can work in China,
Yes, yeah.
How
Well,
much you can
okay.
work it on it.
Yeah. How
Exactly.
can I how can I get there?
Yeah, actually, this is a very good question, because normally, like in I talk with some friends also, like normally in China, that if you, it's like iOS is the most simple thing you
Yeah,
can do,
yeah.
right? But then Android is like impossible to manage by yourself.
Yeah.
Like everyone, if you talk with everyone, like give me some recommendation for do UA, like in China, they will tell you like this agency works better than that, and that agency works better than this,
Yeah.
but always with an agency,
Yeah. Okay.
with a partner. And also, that's, I think, well, most of the friends told me that is like the way, like the most effective and most used the way in China, because there's so many that all the mobile brands and all the applications, app stores that we mentioned, is
Yep.
like too much to manage by yourself, and also
Oh, easy
no.
for me. I just don't know the language.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Makes
And
sense.
also, I think it's iOS. Well, for both iOS and Android, there's a very trend thing. Like Douyin is the now most almost is the most used app in China. So
Okay.
Douyin and Kuaishou, there's another similar
Douyin,
video.
Douyin is the Chinese version of TikTok, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, the
Yeah.
Chinese version of TikTok. You can connect with a account manager, and then they can get you a whitelist, personalized, detail everything like you want to know to for UA in Douyin, in TikTok. They can just provide you everything, guidelines, and it's
Nice.
simply, yeah, work with them. And I know a lot of studios that they are managing it for iOS in Douyin, and by themselves, and it's manageable.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so far.
I remember like way back in time when the ISBN requirement wasn't even a requirement. I was running iOS in China on Google, and I think there was like Wangle or something,
Yeah,
which was kind of possible and easy, but yeah, only iOS basically.
yeah,
So
basically
yeah,
only iOS.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like if you want to promote content, like putting like ads and like doing UA, you need to also like register. There's some certificate, and if a foreign studio, a West studio want to go there, probably they need a lot of paperwork before. Yeah.
Okay. So again, you cannot do it yourself. You need to find a local partner or pretty much an agency. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anything else except like the traditional UA and like like here like influencers are kind of like a interesting part of the whole UA strategy. Anything like that?
Yeah, it's really trendy. Like it's the most thing to do in China because there's a lot of games. Like every game, top games, they find KOLs, but not only KOLs, they also find celebrities in
So
China.
for those who don't know, KOL is key opinion leader, right?
Exactly,
There
key
you go.
opinion leader, like influencers.
I know.
Like Matej?
Yeah, even Matej knows.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The influencers that they are, like have probably the same style or could be a potential, influencer, a micro influencer or bigger influencer to your game, and then they create game content in the platforms that I mentioned in Bilibili or in WeChat or in their TikTok channel, like the Douyin. You can find them, and then they can create some promotion content. Like they can also show some gameplay in their video. Yeah, so it's really common in China to find some, uh, the influencers and just get some sponsorship with them. Yeah.
One question, because you said that like creatives needs to be approved, if I get it right. Was
Exactly.
it right? So does it mean there are no fake creatives in China?
Well,
That's a
nobody
good
said
question. That's a good question, but
like do you see some of those, like Hero
yeah,
Wars, like guy falling in the lava?
I see a lot of fake ads in China, creative in China. So I think they are only approving if you have any other contents like violence
Yeah,
or
like the typical regulations, basically, right?
exactly. They
So it
will
can be fake, but cannot be violent fake.
Yes,
exactly. Exactly.
Well, nobody cares if it's fake or not. Yeah, okay. And
Okay.
since so that's kind of covers the UA. You need to have a partner there as well, and then KOLs and
Matej.
influencers. Yeah, maybe Matej. Relocating to China soon.
Oh.
And what was by the way, the
No.
kickback part? Did we talk about
Yeah.
that one?
Okay. So I was talking to someone. It was like a long time ago. So they were running like a Facebook campaigns for someone in the West, and basically they were saying that if they spend on Facebook, they get as an agency in China like 10% back from the spend, which was kind of like a fee. I'm not sure if this is still the case or somebody was like lying to me.
You mean like a cashback?
Cashback, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
it depends on how you negotiate. Like you can get a cashback, and even if the crazy thing that I heard that there's a mediation that they can if you want them to pay you, they can pay you like weekly or daily. It's depending on how you negotiate, and also depending on how they work. Yeah, and there's some green zone that
nice,
you can probably get a cashback.
This is getting better by the moment.
Yeah, like Felix said, like everything is a negotiation, I guess. Interesting. Which can
Shall we talk a little bit about Felix stuff, that he's not here because he got like surprised wedding attendance?
Oh, no worries. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you can also like very that's why you need to get a power of negotiation. Like get your power to negotiate and get prepared to be surprised.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm not moving to China at all. I would have been very good in this.
Find a local partner.
Yes, yeah. That's gonna happen.
Okay, so shall we do like a round around like what's the ad network situation there? Or like
Let's let's do like a quick mediation platforms in China and top ad networks, and then we can call it a day.
finish with AI.
Finish with AI. Oh, of
Finish
course we
with
can
AI.
finish with
Yeah.
AI. Yes, definitely yes. Definitely yes. So if you can kind of walk us through the mediation platforms in China, that would be pretty good.
Yep. I'm
Because Felix
trying
would
to
definitely like to.
find.
I like to know like how
Yeah.
does it work.
Yeah.
So,
So the mediations in China, normally, well, I talked with some friends, and most of them, like, they're only using Pango
The
or
okay.
TikTok mediation.
exactly the one owned by TikTok, and
Nice.
then the other one is Tap On, and Tap On is like the most famous one or most used one now so far in China.
Nice.
Yeah, and the also there's others, others like Mintegrill and
Yeah.
Iron Source, Uploving. But normally it depends. Like if you only want to launch, well, your game, like if it's only in the West, or you also have the game in China.
Mm.
So, but normally these tools are the most used one, um, and they basically work with all the ads formats so far, and they also, my friend told me that the top on is not that detailed. The data, the level of data is not detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you need to trust what they share with you.
Oh, this goes against our mushroom theory. But they reversed it there.
Yeah,
Wow, really nice.
a
Okay.
little bit, a
Wow.
little bit. Yeah, that's kind of a open secret now in the market, but yeah. But the strategy is like they they support different. You can sort by different, by pressing, by traffic grouping, by A/B test, by or different or layers if you want. So basically, they have the tool is free. I think almost all of them are free, but you can
It's
pay.
free, but you don't get the data.
Yeah, pay more. Pay more. You can maybe get
yeah.
better
Wow, that's
data.
amazing.
I would really like to see Felix negotiating Chinese.
Oh man. Oh wow. Oh, on the other hand,
By
yeah,
the
that
way,
would be a really nice Netflix document series.
yeah, of course. I remember there was some loophole that people were launching games on iOS store in China without microtransactions, but just having ads without the requirement of ISBN. Does this still stands? Or do you think that this kind of loophole still works? That you can launch an app, just you don't have any monetization like direct one, and you just have ads. Will that work still?
Like you mean if you have a ISBN or not?
No,
Like
you don't have it. You
you
don't
don't
have it
have a ISBN, but you want to launch
Launch, yeah.
a
on
game
iOS
with.
only
Okay.
with ads only.
The there's a gray zone. I would say yes. There's a local partners that they are working on this. They can help you to build it.
Yeah, but you can't
Yeah.
get too big, otherwise you get banned, I guess.
um. Yeah, but I mean, I just hear that they is I just heard that is possible to launch. Like it's not total legal, but it's not illegal either. So.
Great.
Well, it's perfect.
That sounds like excellent kind of a tryout exercise. Like if you don't want to go through this, just launch with ads, take out the microtrans. Because I know I work with some games that did exactly this, but this was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I remember we did that, but yeah, I don't know what's the situation now. Like as you said, like if the market's like the approval rate is coming higher, finally, maybe like people are kind of less strict these days. So
Yeah.
I guess that works.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Anything else to the ad networks we want to add here?
At network, the most used thing, of course, is Tencent because they have the super app. Like WeChat is the most powerful app in China, and also QQ. But most likely nobody use QQ, but they owns a QQ email. Like
Mhm.
if you know authentic
Yeah,
Chinese, they will own a QQ email. Like there's a lot of numbers in the probably
I
9
have
or
some
11
of the
numbers.
subscribers in my
Exactly.
newsletter is the QQs, like a lot of numbers and some characters as well, like
Exactly.
letters, and then at qq.com, I think.
Yeah, right. At
Okay.
qq.com. That's really like everyone have a QQ email. Even my parents, they are
Nice.
using.
Okay.
Okay, that's very
Yeah.
okay. Nice.
And besides of Tencent, there's also the TikTok one. Like I mentioned, Douyin is really popular and well used, and like it's increasing. Like how the this can be monetized, and it's really Douyin is just well used now in China. And but also Baidu, they have is the Chinese Google. They are used like by a lot of advertisers, so it's really common that if you all the biddings you want to do and everything, they call the Baidu mob. It's really similar ad mob. So yeah, but I would say more simple. The yeah.
Less data.
That's the important part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And also some from Alibaba, and also international ones that there's a lot of them. And Huawei ads, that's something that I used to work in Huawei, and Huawei ads also is very well used in China.
Nice. All right. Let's wrap it up here so we can actually have another session because I think we have a lot of questions in our Slack channel. So we
it's like a lot of people even like coming on this one like to get like a few more questions. So
few more
again,
questions. So it's definitely, if you want to join
Yeah.
the Slack channel, please do so.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming. It's really great. And then our dear listeners, this was 2.5 Gamers podcast, which feels like, and this is an AI taking us home. So Matej AI wrote this for us. It feels like it's leveling up
Again.
with a cheat code. Oh, it's just fun. It's fun. So please subscribe to the podcast, join our gaming Slack community, and become the part of a 2.5 Gamers family. Thank you very much. Thanks, Guo, for coming. And
Thanks for hanging.
see you next time.
See you
Cheers.
next time. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.